What's going on, guys? So I don't even know what to say. You know what? I didn't even grab my Bible. That's what I should have did before I even sat here. But yeah, man, this is crazy. So I wanted to kind of sit here and talk to y'all. I know I probably look stupid. It's just such a laid back day. It's raining. It's been raining all day. Um, I mean raining, not like rain a little bit, drizzle. It's been like pouring. So watch out for floods and all that jazz. But I just want to come on here and say a little song. Got my man Jesus in the back. Got Miles Morales in the back. Wait, where my hand at? I got Miles Morales. I got other dude, all the different spider people right there. So we just chilling. Prince of Egypt right here. Yep. Uh, Say I ain't really been doing that. I ain't even made a video in forever. Just been so focused on just I don't know, so much stuff. So much stuff has happened. Um, what like before the holidays came, it was yeah, before the holidays came, it was while I was preparing for the holidays. Thanksgiving. I went to Florida for Thanksgiving. Drove 16 hours, just a whole thing. Then came back. Then once that starts, then you gotta prepare for Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been a wild ride. Let's just say that. But that holidays is over. I got a new job. It was kind of like a promotion, but it was a new job at the same time. So, um, I feel really blessed to be where I'm at and to have gone through the things I've gone through this year and to see where I'm at right now. I can only, thank God. However it was gonna work out or supposed to work out, but I still put the work. I put the work in, but I can't. The way it all happened, I can't. I'm not even gonna go into detail right now, but the only thing I can think of is God. But I have a review actually I wanted to do. And speaking of my dog Jesus right here, I've been watching The Chosen, and if you don't know what The Chosen is, it's a TV show, and I just want to make a disclaimer. It's a TV show about Jesus, right? Um, but I want to make a disclaimer before I even get into that because it's important that you know this before I tell you what I think about the show. I I hate, and I don't even want to use the word hate, but if you know me, you know how much I dislike Christian content, and I'm a Christian, and I hate Christian content. And the reason I hate Christian content is because it is immensely cheesy. It's corny. It's just it's all the things that I hate about Christian content. Like it's like when you see a shirt that has a Sprite logo, and then all of a sudden you read it and it says Spirit, and you're like, bruh, why would you do that? Why not just do something else, right? And so that's the idea of Christian content for me. Like it always is just a cheesier version of something I could have just went into secular content for, right? And then it just comes off as cheesy. Or, you know, they follow Jesus around and he does all the miracles and he says all the, important texts and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, like we get it. We've seen all the Jesus stuff. We've seen the Passion of the Christ. We've seen all the things before, right? And so I stayed away from this show because I was like, why do I want to see another, documentary or show about Jesus coming? Jesus does a couple miracles, then he goes to the cross, and it's like this, metaphor for this Jesus died for you, and then during Christmas time we get to see him being born in the manger. It's like how many times have we seen that, right? So I was like, of course, The Chosen is gonna be just like that, and boy, was I wrong. I As of today, there's 3 seasons officially out. The fourth one's coming out this year in February. And man, that show has wrecked so many different parts of me. I can't even explain how many times I've cried or almost cried, um, or had chills and just like this moment. And then I rewatch these moments. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But um, one day I was watching, no, I had watched a movie called The Shift. This is just how I kind of even found the show. I was watching a movie called The Shift, and I realized that it was by this studio called Angel Studios. Somebody had mentioned Angel Studios to me before, but I was just kind of like, oh, okay. But the commercial for the movie The Shift looked so unlike Christian content that I've seen before. So I actually went to the theaters to see it, and it was okay. It did have a little bit more cheese to it, and I was kind of just like, eh. But for the most part, it was a nice plot, and I enjoyed it, right? So I found out it was this studio called Angel Studio. So I went home, and I think however the algorithms work, it found out that I had seen it, and so it started pushing certain things to me. And I was like, what is this Angel Studios? I keep hearing about it. So I downloaded the app on the TV, and I saw The Chosen there, and I was like, oh, here we go. But because I had already had the app, I was like, well, let me just see what the show is about. And I watched the first episode, and the rest was honestly history. And the first episode was so powerful, right? And just to I won't do like a big spoiler, but it had to do with Mary Magdalene and other stuff. And you get context to some other people too, but that is where like the main storyline of the first episode is, right? Um, but it was so powerful, and I had like these chills afterwards, and I was like, what? So then of course I was like, okay, let me just see the next episode. And then it was funny to me because you don't even really see Jesus that much in the first couple of episodes. He's kind of just like around. I mean, he pops up in the first episode. He doesn't look like that, although that's my dog. But he kind of pops up here and there, but he's not like the focal point of the first couple episodes. And what really drew me into this show, different than any other Christian content I've ever seen, was how real these people's lives were. You can relate, you can see yourself, you can and not because I'm here to see myself in these characters, but when you talk about, and I think it's because I love the artwork of cinema and writing, and I love seeing the work and the art that it takes to do these things, and I see the work that they put into the show. Oh my goodness, the writing is so good. Whoever was in the writing room for The Chosen, oh, y'all have wrecked my life. Um, but yeah, so the writing is just so good, and they dive into these people's lives, like Peter's life and his brothers and his wife and his mother-in-law and um, his brothers-in-law, like, you know what I mean, and like all these people, and you get to see how they're living in the real lives that they were living at the time that Jesus calls them, and then um, how their lives actively and their characters actually develop during Jesus calling them and going forward as they start to walk with him. And it's portrayed in such a real way. And they have such real issues, not just like those, like I think the problem is that we look at like Peter and we look at some of these other people, such as like holy, you know, they're saint this and saint that, and there's these fictional characters from way long ago, right? And it's like, nah, Peter was a real dude, and he had real anger issues, and he had a real wife that he had to take care of, and he had to think about all of these things at the same time that the Messiah calls him to follow him. Like all these things are interwoven, and there's a brother who's following Jesus with him, and he has all this different stuff, and they all have to be friends with a tax collector. And they actually show you how much they hated the tax collector, Matthew being the tax collector. And they show you these things. They don't just tell us, they literally show us. And because of I think that being one of my favorite parts, I think the big part is that we see Jesus in a different way, because you see the fullness of him being fully, you know, him being God, but also him being man, and him actually living life and smiling and laughing and being frustrated, being angry at times, saddened, weeping. And then you see all these emotions and you see the realness of him and his interaction with his disciples, and then boom, miracle. And it makes the miracle 10 times better and 10 times more emotionally gripping, because you've just got done watching them live their normal lives, right? And so, and again, that's without spoilers, because I don't want to. I mean, I guess you can't really spoil what happens in a story like this, because you could actually read it in the Bible. So I don't know, but the way it all happens is really nice, and it makes me crazy. And I just got done with the third season, and I cried at the end of the third season, and now the fourth season's about to come out. So I'm just super excited. But for those people who were like me and are like, oh, I hate Christian, I don't like Christian content because it's so cheesy and blah blah blah, this is the show for you to watch. Trust me. If you don't trust Christian content, trust me to tell you that it is good art. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. And so that's all I came to say. I haven't been on here for a while. I haven't made a video or anything like that. Honestly, I just found out that I could connect my microphone directly to my phone now, because Apple uses USB-C. So I got excited about it, and so I decided I'm gonna record this video. Hope it blesses somebody. If not, I was gonna post it either way. Peace.